First of all, congratulations to Rocky Long and Aztec football for making the Armed Forces Bowl. All you can control is what you can control. So I know the Aztecs will be ready to play and represent this university like they have over the last number of years with excellence and quality play. And if I could win 3 more games, go 10-2, I'll have the same record Rocky has. So I got to win 3 in a row somehow. I'm happy with our performance tonight. 5th game in 11 days. That's always a challenge. You get better in practice, so we haven't had a lot of practice time. We've been playing a lot of games. But I thought our kids competed really at a high level today. They came out, worked hard on the glass. This is a good rebounding team we played. Out-rebounded them by 20. We shot a pretty good percentage. Our defense was great. I think they shot 32% for the game. So we defended well, we rebounded well, and that usually leads to a good outcome. And by doing those 2 things, we could overcome a sluggish offensive performance, I guess, from a turnover perspective. We turned the ball over 16 times again, which is way too many. So our charge as coaches is to use this next period of time, 1 game in the next 22 days, to get better in practice, to improve the offense and the flow of our team. You know, sometimes when the play's done, we're not flowing. We kind of get stuck with the ball, and we have to do a lot better job. And we're going to use these next 2 weeks to our advantage as we get ready for Cal on Saturday and then a 12-day break leading into the Gonzaga game. So I'm pleased with the team where we are right now, but we have to get better if we're going to compete in a very good Mountain West Conference.
There's a lot of options for you guys, some new players. How comfortable do you feel with the combinations you're putting out there, and how much are you still experimenting with that?
I think everybody that's played for us has done a good job. You know, our bench is deep, and our bench actually played really well in the first half to help build on the lead that the starters got for us. And so the bench has been immeasurably important. You know, Techie was good today. Jalen McDANIELS obviously was sensational. He had a double-double. And Jordan Shackle just guarded well. He couldn't get his 3 to fall. And Nolan Narain had another solid game. So it's a luxury to be able to go to a deep bench and actually increase the lead and increase your level of play. And that's what we've been able to do this year. The bench has been great for me as we wait for Max Montana to get his rhythm back, get healthy, and Trey Kell to get back on the floor. So the bench has been immeasurably important.
What's the updates on both Trey and Max?
Max is ready to play, and it was almost unfair to put him in. He wants to get playing, so I put him in the first half, and he hadn't practiced in 2.5 weeks. So he had no real game rhythm. Even though I liked the shots he took, they didn't go in. But it's unfair to miss that much practice, only get back for 1 practice, and then be thrown in the game and think your timing's going to be there. So I'm going to use this next week to really get his timing back, get him on the practice floor where he's feeling good about himself, because we have to have him good if we're going to be as good as we want to be. He's got to be healthy and playing. And then Trey Kell, again, you know, basically been shooting in a boot most of the week, tried to warm up again in case we needed him. And wasn't going to dress for the game, but I told him I wanted him dressed and on the exercise bike. And he asked me what circumstances would I play. I said if we get a guard fouled out or injured, or if I need an emotional boost to the team, or if I need you to make a play down the stretch. And so none of those things happened today, so I let him sit the game, and which was great for me because he needs the rest. I need him healthy going into Cal next week.
Was that his decision or your decision?
He lets me know if he can play or not. And then I know he's tough, so I knew he wouldn't refuse me if I said, I want you to be ready to go in case I need you. And then he just asked, what would that circumstance be? So mentally, as a player, you want to be prepared for that circumstance. So if I had Jeremy and Devin in foul trouble, or one of them sprained an ankle themselves and went out, then maybe his mind would start turning. I might have to get myself ready. And I think for part of the first half, he was on the exercise bike, just keeping loose and just in case. But when we built the lead and maintained it, you know, I wasn't going to risk him at that point to put him out there. And I don't think he's close, but he's not 100%. So it's a luxury for me to have such a good bench where I didn't have to put him out there.
Is it just it's swollen still, or is it more soreness? Or?
Yeah, he sprained. It's been 1 week because he sprained it against Washington State 1 week ago today. So it's, you know, I don't think it's abnormal. I think the swelling's gone down. He's rehabbing it with Sergio, and it's getting better. You know, I think if this was for the conference championship tonight and we had to tape him up into a cast, then he would have played. But for a preseason game, there's no sense to run that risk with him because the win wouldn't have been more important than obviously his health. So he's close. He's very close. I think he actually was disappointed after he warmed up. I think in his mind he thought he would play today.
Talk about Techie a little bit. You mentioned him earlier. We haven't seen very much of him in meaningful games at least, and he played a little against USD. Didn't do a lot. A little bit better today.
Yeah, he's letting the game come to him. At USD, he had some good looks. He got 4 shots up in the first half, and I think all but one of them was a good look. And then second half, he ended up driving in there, getting fouled, and making 2 free throws. So Techie was injured part of the preseason camp. I think he had a concussion, and he had something else that kept him out 14 to 28 practices. And so it's tough for him to fight his way in there. He's 11th man in a 10-man rotation. Well, when Trey went down and Max went down, and he's been practicing, then he's starting to show us what he can do, and so he's earned some minutes. So as he continues to play well, he'll continue to play. So the hard thing is, I told him at the start of the year, all these guys, I got 11 guys, and I'm not playing 11 players. So I'll feel bad for you if you're number 10 and 11 and not getting the minutes because you're good enough to play, but that's just college basketball. And that's I have 11 because if I get 2 guys hurt, I have enough guys to win. And so the guys I've had out there have won us games.
How high is his ceiling? I mean, people have really not seen him play as much as, do things in games that he's done in practice.
Yeah, it's always hard coming off the bench. If you sit, he doesn't get in the first 10 minutes and you put him in and expect him to be 100 miles an hour. Sometimes that's a harder role because when you're a gifted player like him, you're used to starting and being ready to go from the start. But off the bench, you got to get your rhythm in the game first before you start upping the ball. So I thought he did a good job of moving the ball, sharing the ball until he got his rhythm, and then he got offensive, and he did a good job for us.
Coach, the Bradley coach thought they were out tough today. Were you pleased with your physicality?
They had a certain degree of toughness in the fact that they played a game Friday night in Peoria, bussed up to Chicago the next morning, flew across country, and played a 3 o'clock in the afternoon game. So we knew that would be to our advantage. So, that's a tough deal for anybody, traveling across time zones and playing an afternoon game. So were we tougher at stretches today? Yes, but a lot of that might have had to do with their tough travel schedule, a day and a half prep, traveling across the country. And I think the toughness might have been most reflected maybe in the rebounds. They're a very good rebounding team, and I think we out-rebound them by 21. So that's a big number for us. And then our defense, both of us play good, hard defense. So we just got a few more stops. When we got the lead, everything free flows easier. The shots are easier because you're not playing in a 2-point game. And so playing with the lead is definitely a lot easier than playing from behind when everything is measured so much more. So it's a tough, they made a little run at the end of the first half, and we opened the second half in zone and then spurted again, and then it was tough on them.
You've talked a lot about turnovers this year, and early in the season you were very, very good. What do you attribute to the sloppiness lately? Is it partly because you're spending so much time in practice on defense, fixing the defensive issues, and you spend more time on offense in the preseason? Or?
No, first, we're not running very well right now. Our fast break is not very good. So it's not moving quick enough. The ball screens are too labored. So we have to get our fast break going again, where it free flows a little better and we're faster up the floor with the ball. We're not getting the ball up the floor on the pass quick enough. So that's something I already know we have to work on. And then once the set play's over, every game is different because they hedge ball screens and they created a different dynamic. So we have to be able to flow from the set play into offense where once the play's over and we pass the ball, that guy stands there and he doesn't know what to do. He's got to play confident. So whether it's a handoff or do another ball screen, we have to give him more options. So some of that's on the coaches, where the play's over and they get the ball, and if they don't know what to do and they're not attacking, then that's on us. So we have to open it up for them a little bit more where they're more comfortable after the set play's done, what they can do with the ball and what we want from them.
How much of that is just game slippage of like you said, not having practice?
Yeah, it's, you can't lose a game by over-practicing in this stretch. So we know we have a lot of work to do, but the games are so important that we don't want to be on the floor 3 hours trying to fix ourselves right now when we need fresh legs for a game. So we've gotten by with what we have, but we know we have to get better. So I already told him in the locker room after the game that this next 2 or 3 weeks is going to dictate our season. How much we can improve what we're doing in that period of time will dictate how good we're going to be the next 22 days in practice.
As much as you're focusing on your team, and now that we're in December, are you taking a peek at what the other conference teams are
I'm always looking at the conference, because I want the conference to do well. I felt horrible for Marvin Menzies. He had a chance to knock off Arizona. And then earlier in the week, he had last possession against Northern Iowa, and he wins both those. And we're talking about an at-large bid for UNLV. I like the fact Boise beat Oregon, Colorado State beat Colorado. So the conference is better this year. What that will mean, we have some opportunities to still win some good non-conference games and build a conference resume. Because once the conference starts, if our RPIs are all strong, then there'll be room to improve during the conference. So I think the conference has done a good job. We've got two opportunities. We got Cal and Gonzaga at home, so we can make some hay if we're playing well.
Jalen, you got some extended minutes when the league went down tonight, and just kind of feel like you got a chance to show what you can do.
Yeah. He went down, so I feel like I had to step up in my part and just play with a lot of energy and be active, and I feel like I did that.
Malik, you only played 5 minutes in the first half. Did you try to make up for that with your big second half?
I try to do what I can in the second half, make up for lost time, do what I can to help the team. So, yeah, for the most part.
Anything else?
How much, for both you guys, this is your 5th game in 11 days. I know it's hard to sometimes keep focus, you get tired. How much do the coaches kind of try to lock you in, and are you proud of yourselves for coming out like you did tonight, 27-5?
Every opportunity that they could, when they needed to at least. For the most part, we was all dialed in, and we're aware that, 5 games in 11 days can be pretty tough on our bodies, but we found a way to push through like tonight and, stay strong.
Malik, what can you say about Jalen? He's built kind of like you. What's it going to be like once you're gone and he's only 6'10"?
I got nothing but high hopes and high expectations for this guy right here. He showed tonight his capabilities, and that's just the smallest piece of it. He has a lot of potential, and as far as I'm concerned, he could do just about everything out there. So I'm excited for him and for this team.
Jalen, has it been hard this season? It's your first season where you can play. And you get some games, you get a lot of minutes, some games, he's playing well, and there's only a need for one guy at that position. How do you sort of work with that frustration?
I really don't get too frustrated. I just cheer him on, cheer my teammates on, and if I get in, I just try to do what I can to help us win.
What part of your game do you think has improved the most since last year?
I'd probably say just getting to my spots, making my shots that I take, open shots, three-pointers, and rebounding too.
What can you guys say about Devin Watson? Especially in the last couple games with Trey being hurt. The last game he played 40 minutes. Tonight he played 34 minutes.
He's an energizer, buddy. Sorry, I have my mouth covered, but he definitely likes to keep the tempo going, and he has that loud voice that's added. So it's definitely a benefit. Don't get his height confused because he's a loud guy and he brings a lot of energy. So I love having him there.
That dunk you had in the second half, it looked like you've been trying to get some of those this season.
Yeah, I had to make up for that. I should have went 2 hands the second time because the first one they didn't give me the call, but hey, I'll take it. It was a great pass by Jerem, great setup.
Do you guys feel like you're trying to, it seems like lately you've been using your length to your advantage a lot more, especially than last season. Do you feel like you've been doing a lot better, and you had, 5 offensive rebounds tonight, 11 rebounds? Do you guys feel like you've been doing better by using your size to your advantage?
Yeah, I feel like we have been using our quickness to get around guys, so I feel like that helps a lot too.
The other team was getting frustrated because the coaches are yelling. Brad, the coach is yelling to block out. But is it hard to block you out because maybe you're not as big a body? Just go around people?
Yeah, I just use my quickness, just try to get around them, and it just works. I just go hard to the glass.
It just works.
Obviously, big score margin today. What are you guys most proud of from how you guys played out there on the court today?
Playing together. For the most part, the game's about runs, and they had very few today, and that was a big part of us staying as one on the defensive end. So, I mean, I'm proud of us defensively. Got a lot of stops and got out in transition, and it paid dividends for us.
What's your guys' take on the football teams, the bowl selection, Armed Forces Bowl? You think it's fair? Think they should have gotten a better bowl?
I mean, I just like to support my guys. I don't really like to look into all that stuff because, you know, it just goes one way or the other. You just do what you can on the field or in the court.